In the front view, you want to make sure the toes are pointed forward and the knees are going in a straight line and not moving off to the side. You also want to make sure that the individual is moving straight and not stepping off to the side as well. With that, you also want to make sure the feet are going within their pathway and are not crossing over each other. You can see there is a slight crossover of the right foot into the left foot path. In the side view, this is where you can see the gait cycle. The gait cycle consists of one stride, which the stride consists of 2 steps. A step is the heel contact of one foot going to the heel contact of the other foot, such as the right heel contact to the left heel contact. A stride consists of 2 steps. One stride is the right heel contact to the left heel contact to the right heel contact. This can also be vice versa, with the left being the first contact. Step is from one foot to the other foot with the heel contact at each. In the gait cycle, there are 2 phases, the first one being the stance and the second one being the swing phase. In the stance phase, you have the right heel contact with the toe off of the right leg. Along that, you have the mid stance, which is also the loading response, in which that foot moves forward and receives most of the weight. Along those lines, you also have an active propulsion of the left leg coming forward, and when you have that, it's the passive propulsion, which is the toe off of the other leg. The mid stance of the right leg. This is where the swing phase of the left leg takes place. When the right leg receives the weight of the body, the left leg then moves forward, going into the double support when both legs receive the weight of the body. On the side view, the thing that you look for is the same thing with the knees, making sure that they're moving forward and not too much backwards, and making sure the hips stay in line and not wobbling all over the place off to the side. The other thing you can check for is the arms, making sure they move with the legs, making the legs move. If the arms cross over, most likely the legs will cross over, following the same path as the arm. In this back view, you can also see that the toes are pointing off to the side. When the toes are pulled off to the side, this actually makes the tendons, and such as the patella, rubbing in the wrong way, which can cause wear and tear, giving the person problems later on in life. You can also make sure, again, that the toes are pointing in the right way and the legs are following the right path, making sure the knees aren't bending off to the side and the knees are moving straight. Too much of them swaying off to the side is wasted energy and is not moving in the correct path. You also want to look for the hips, making sure that the hips are not dropping down low, too far to the left, too far to the right. This could be caused by the legs moving too far off to the side and not going down the path of the right way. You also want to look for the shoulders, making sure that they also are not doing the same thing as the hip, dropping to the right, dropping to the left. The shoulders and the hips can go in sync. If the right shoulder is dropping, then the right hip may also be dropping. Also in the back view, you want to look at the toes and the heels. Again, making sure that the foot is not doing too much inversion or inversion, making sure that they are not bending in an unwanted way that can cause injury or serious damage. You also want to look at the ankles, making sure they're not doing too much inversion or inversion. Inversion is when the heel of the foot starts to point inwards while the ankles start to bend outwards. Inversion is the opposite of when the sole of the foot starts to point out or facing out and the ankle bending in forward. This can put unwanted tension and strains on the ankle joint. Again, from the back view, you can also make sure that the arms aren't crossing over. When walking or running, your hands like to follow your feet, and your feet like to follow your hands. If you're crossing over your hands or your arms, most likely your feet would follow, making them also cross paths.